Welcome to SoulWhat, a Soultopia production. Every Tuesday, Michelle and Roger Welch take a deep dive into the intriguing and proactive world of metaphysics, a world beyond our human perception. They'll talk to empaths, readers, and other guests from all walks of life to find out what's hiding under the surface, uncover the mysteries of our modern world, and reveal the answers you need to live a happy, healthier life. Now, here's your hosts, Michelle and Roger Welch.
Hello, everybody. How are you, Roger?
Good. Cold today, rainy last night, had that storm come through.
That was a weird storm.
It didn't last. The intense part was like maybe 15, 20 minutes, but then it kind of drizzled rain and then it freaking got cold.
But it was like the energy of it. I usually like storms. I enjoy them. And that one was just weird.
Yeah,
I mean, it's made me antsy still all day, just like jittery.
Yeah, I was in the backyard watching it, recording it.
It was that moment, yeah, and the moment, Matt, when you realize that your safe room is way too small. Like ours was, there is no way one person can fit in this little bathroom, much less all of us, us two and the three dogs.
Yeah.
Forget about it.
It was relatively tame at my house. And I live down in, like East Dallas, and it was, I heard of stuff going on north of us, which would be kind of where y'all are. North of me, but it was just like it rained hard for a little bit when the wind blew some, and then within 10 or 15 minutes it was over.
And there was a blizzard in the west part of. At the same time, there was a blizzard in the West Texas.
Panhandle.
Oh yeah, I didn't know that.
So we're
they
having
had a
like
blizzard.
tornadoes, and they're having blizzards. I mean, this is Texas for you.
Yeah.
Crazy Texas,
That's
right?
all right. We're getting more.
Divided on everything. I know, right?
More
Well, we're
storms.
excited tonight. We don't want to waste any more time talking about weather. We want to talk about our great guest, and our guest is a good friend of ours. I can honestly say that. She's all right. We love her, and we love her sister too. But we're welcoming Ethony. It's Ethony Dawn, and I don't know, Ethony, if you sent me a bio or not, but I've got this from your website. Okay, good. Okay. All right, so Roger, you can add in on her website, or on her bio, whatever you want to say. So, Ethony is a tarot reader, author, teacher, and modern witch. A little bit about her. I want to read this. I read it a long time ago when she said about herself. I've been reading the tarot for over 22 years for clients all over the world. My book, Your Tarot Court, was published with Lou Ellen in 2009. I've also created 4, that's more than that, I bet it's more than 4 now, 4 tarot decks and 3 oracle decks. I'm head mistress. This is Ethony. Ethony's head mistress of the Tarot Readers Academy, which has over 10,000 students, and she's been teaching people to read for over 15 years. God, you just don't even seem that old at all. Like you started when you were like 10. It's my calling to help awaken souls around the world with tarot, oracle cards, magic, and spiritual tools. I've been captivated by the world of tarot for most of my life. Well, yeah, we can tell because that's like she's not that old. And I am blessed to work with amazing clients to help them find clarity, illumination, and personal epiphanies. Ethony's epiphanies. I like that. I believe that magic is everywhere and that our lives can be truly enchanted if we are open and awake. She was born in Canada, raised in Australia, and now called Vancouver. What is that? BC, British Columbia. Home. And I am a tarot reader and author who loves to create more than sleep. You guys, it's Ethony. And everybody's so excited you're here. Hi. Was that good enough? That's good. That's you. You're such a good writer. You know?
I probably had help editing that one, let's be honest.
Well, you are a good writer, though. And we've got all of your goodies. Well, not all of them, but Roger, you did a good job.
These came in yesterday. They're supposed to all come in today, but FedEx, they suck.
I saw a sign. FedEx is hiring. They had a little sign on the side of the road.
Yeah, right out front of us. But we got Bad Bitches yesterday, and we got the new one, the Penumbra, today.
So, Ethony, I don't expect you to watch every one of our shows, but you typically come up, Matt. You can validate this. She comes up in many of our shows, so your ears are ringing, I'm sure, a lot of times. But I read with your deck, this one, and I've read with it a lot on my Friday show on Instagram. And we went through and talked about what it was and the what this word meant. And I said, I bet you Ethony tells us right in the first page. And sure enough, I opened it, and there it was. So, but didn't we? We talked about it a lot. Yeah.
We did.
And I have some questions about it when we get to it. But let's let Ethony talk. I'm just blabbing.
Go for it.
So, tell us what you've been up to.
So I have been up to getting this little baby out into the world, which is really the work and love of Eris, who created the artwork, and I can sort of talk a little bit about the deck later. So that's been a big one. I'm currently, I just finished a guidebook for another deck, another tarot deck.
Wow.
I can give you a sneak peek, I think. I'll have to reach it when you're not sick, I'll have to reach out a screen. For another tarot deck that I've just finished, I'm currently writing another guidebook for another tarot deck, and there's another one behind it just coming as well.
Wow.
So there's 2 in the works. And then I'm also just finishing up writing a course for a level 201 on the tarot, which is going to be above my foundations course, which is like learning the cards and building a confident, mastering sort of that foundation of the tarot. This is going to be about a deep dive into the astrology and the language of symbols inside the tarot. So I'm, and then getting ready to come to Dallas.
Yeah.
So a few things happening.
Yeah, well, so we were talking, I don't know when we were talking about bad bitches, and you told us how many, even like on a low end, that we had sold so many. Was that on Instagram when I was on?
Yeah.
Or was that last time this was on? But
Maybe.
He told us.
We sold like 5 decks.
We've sold 5 bad bitches decks. We're so proud of that. No, that's not what you said. It was a lot.
Good job.
It's a lot. Great. We got that 5. Now there are not your decks, but there are some people's decks that we're really happy when we sell 5, So anyway, and I love this Modern Love one too, y'all. This one is one of my favorites. And the Muse.
Yeah, she's one of my favorites too.
And I have the Muses unopened. This is mine, but I have one open, so don't think I don't have also one open. There was one for home and one for the store. And so we're like Ethony fans, right?
We have our own little section set up. It's at eye level, so you come in, boop, boop, there's all her stuff right here in the little eye level section.
It's the truth. There's a whole
I
Ethony
feel
section.
very blessed for that. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Do we have that at all the stores, or is she mainly?
At all stores, at all the stores. We try to put like yours together, Churros, and Amy and Monty's stuff together, because the 3 of y'all have so much variety and everything. So we try to have like
You get your own section.
For all 3 of y'all.
Yeah. Well, and also just because they're all so nice.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited to talk about the deck because I absolutely love it. I love it. I use it. We have tell us how this came about and a little bit about the penumbra. Am I saying that correctly? Penumbra? Penumbra. I figured I was saying it wrong because I tend to do that. All right, so penumbra. Would you tell us about this deck a little bit?
Yeah, so I met Eris Elizabeth in, I think I went back and looked, it was like 2003 or 4 that we met at a pagan spring camp, and we bonded over douchey ex-boyfriends who had shared the same name because of course that's what you do. And she is a fine arts graduate in Australia. She's from Western Australia, and we became very, very fast friends, and she's always done this amazing art, and she's always said, I'm going to do a tarot deck, and I've been watching her progress, and then as everyone knows, like I moved here to Canada in 2013, and then she finally finished it, and I just said to her, like, look, I don't want to like come in and just be like, well, it was near her finishing it. I didn't want to come in and just be like, take her project, but I said, if you want help, like, I'm happy to help, like, co-write the guidebook and get it published and help get it out there, because as a lot of people know, like, being an artist doesn't necessarily mean you know the ins and out of distribution and publishing and all that kind of stuff. And even my Eris said, she doesn't know as much about the tarot as I do. She was coming from the tarot from her artistic expression, and so it was like, yeah, let's work together, and she was really happy, and it's kind of just, it went beautifully, but I have known her for a very long time. It's crazy to think how long actually I've known her for, and that's what I love so much about this deck, is it's different to anything else that I've done to date.
I think it's different than anything that's out there. That's what I mean. It's not just different than what you've done. I think I haven't seen anything like it in a good way.
Yeah. And it's kind of like, I love that it's very different, and I got to spend time with each one of the cards, the artwork, and really push my sort of boundaries and limits on what I knew about the tarot. And I just think that I just feel very blessed that I was able to put this project out into the world for her as well, because she's extremely talented. So.
Oh, yeah. And so on that, what I was talking about, Ethony, but for listeners, we have an Instagram Live on Fridays at 1 p.m. Central Time. And I have been lucky and blessed to have Ethony, the people who are the experts in this field, right? They come on and they talk about a card and then we show different cards. And of course, I always have one of yours from one of your decks every time. Last time was the 8 of, can you hold that one? The 8 of Cups. And I love this one. And that was we're 9 of Cups this week, but that was one we just absolutely loved and we talked about a lot. I love this depiction. I love that the figure is facing the cups and looking at it, as opposed to a lot of times they're walking away.
Yeah, and I mean, I love that they are very, very different, because penumbra is meant to be that, it's that liminal space, it's that in-between, it's that little bit unsure, and that little bit, it kind of reminds me of Guillermo del Toro's stuff a little bit in regards to that. He lives in the liminal, I believe, with all of his monsters and the fantasy. And it's meant to be about elementals walking amongst us. And, you see things like the 10 of Cups, for example, and there are these more elemental earth-like creatures with people sitting around the campfire. So I like that it's very, very different, and it's not just sort of like the cookie cutter kind of Rider-Waite-Smith. And not that I don't love that, because my next deck is actually a Rider-Waite-Smith inspired deck. But I really enjoy that.
This though doesn't deviate far from the Rider-Waite. I mean, it still has a lot of the symbolism and stuff in it, to me at least. So
it does, but some of the images are not necessarily like you were saying, that she's facing the cups and not walking away. And there's the different. So the sun and the moon are very different, and
right. I love
people
that.
say the star is very different, and so.
Well, the one that got me when I was reading the other day on this show. And I promise you, and I give my word, I am not being negative. But I had trouble with, hold it, Roger. He's like, here she goes. I was reading and then I hadn't looked through them, and this guy got me off guard. I mean, I was like, wow, this is cool. But I had a little hard time with it. Tell us about this card.
So the throne, all of the court cards are different in the penumbra. And I sort of love that we have the agents and the guardians instead of the pages, etc.
Right.
And the thrones are the kings. They are the traditional kings.
Right.
And again, it's that elemental king, right? So this I kind of love the fact that he looks a little bit like if Ursula and Triton had a baby.
That's what I was.
That would kind of be.
That's exactly where it took me. And it kind of threw me when I was given a serious reading for because I was like, being really honest, I said, Roger, you go. Because I was like, oh, wait. Oh, wow. I mean, I can go so many ways with this.
And the best part is, she didn't draw it out of the deck once. It was two times.
Up twice. It came up for the...
Two times. And she's like, oh, fuck.
No, and I love the world card. I mean, I love so many of the cards. We could go through all of them. So I'll be probably showing them every Friday because this is one of my favorite decks.
I'm
it
so
really
glad.
is. No, it is. Isn't it one of your favorite decks? Do you think?
For me?
Yeah, I'm serious.
Oh, I love all.
I mean, this
It's like
is
trying to tell me which one of my babies I love the most. It's like I love all of my babies, and the problem is like it's like I pick up one of the decks that I've done, for example, and it's such a it's like a time capsule for me. Like it holds memories of what I was going through around the time that it was created, and what kind of it stirs up for me, being the person who was a part of the creative process. And the penumbra is different from, say, some of them that I've done a lot more on the design side of the cards. But they're all my favorite. But yeah, I have the penumbra like right here next to like my working decks. But they all hold this very different essence for me, which is why I could never pick a favorite.
I love that one. It reminds me of RuPaul's. I mean, something about that, and I know you and I both love RuPaul's. I mean, I don't know. I can't remember who that is, but it reminds me of her, and I love that card too. I love them all. They're all good, and it really stretches your reading. It's like the fact that they were turned on the Eight of Cups, turned the other way. We talked about it probably like half the show. So who was on my show last week? Somebody really, really amazing, and I can't remember right now.
El Arturo, wasn't it?
Yeah, I can't remember. But no, that was the week before.
Jen?
I can't remember.
I don't remember that.
And that I don't.
All I know is that I'm on Friday.
Yeah, and so Roger said, and he said Roger's on Tuesday, and I'm like, I'm so confused about my days. But
I didn't know she was on Friday.
so yeah, so we'll talk about all the.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, you get to talk about the Nine of Cups, right? That's
I
what
do. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so. Tell us a little bit about you told us a little bit about the class that you have coming up. That sounds really good. We definitely want to advertise that because I know a lot of people that want to take it. So when does that sign up begin?
That'll be sign up, I believe, in April. Jamie really needs to be the one who's saying that.
I know, I can't answer half
I'm
that
not
stuff.
signing up, but I basically like to do classes where they're in depth on each card, and I know that you both know how much time that takes, and my foundation class is built that way. So every card has its own video and work page and text that go along with it. Wow. So that if you're stuck in a reading, you can go quickly into the course and get that information and not be like trying to flick through everything trying to find it. And so this time around, it's more for people who already know enough about the cards. They've kind of got the basic meanings of them, but now I want to dive deep into the astrology of the tarot and why you should even give a shit about astrology in the tarot, and then also the symbolic language. So building that symbolic language where you are threading cards together because you notice they have a symbol that means something to you, or that you're noticing for the first time on a card that completely shifts your perspective on the meaning. And then I'll be doing some other things as well, other lectures in there as well. So that starts, I would say, registration will be starting in April. And then that's at the Tarot Readers Academy. And then this was from my course that it's happening at the moment. We just did call 3 on Monday, but I wanted to show you. I'm so sorry. Wow. My screen doesn't look great, but this is the new deck. This is my version of the Fool's Journey, and this was a free downloadable. So if anyone still wants this, you just have to email me. You can just email support@ethony.com if you didn't get this and you're on my mailing list. But this is my version of, this is my telling of the Fool's Journey, and these are our new cards. So I finished the guidebook. The guidebook is written. The art is done. We're just in the final editing process, but yeah, so I have a new deck that's coming out.
That's amazing.
Soon,
What's it? And will it be called the Fool's Journey? Is that the name
Sorry?
of it? Is that the name of it? The Fool's Journey? Is that the name of the
No,
deck?
no.
Okay.
The name of the deck is called the Inner Wisdom Tarot.
Okay.
The Fool's Journey is just, it's a part of our course where we talk about the Fool's Journey. And this is a resource that we did for that lecture.
Right.
And we put our new deck in it. So
That's
I
great.
wanted to sort of show.
I've got one other just little housekeeping matter. To sign up for your your more advanced class, is class 1 a prerequisite? Do people?
No.
Okay. So you can sign
Yeah,
up.
so-
You just kind of self-assess whether,
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
All right.
Because
Well,
there are some of us who I know, like for me, I took a lot of 101 classes, and I'll still, like, if it says tarot on it, you can probably bet I'm going to go buy it or register for it or whatever. But, you know, I like having classes that are a little above the 101, which is why I wrote the Muses of Tarot and why I wrote your Tarot Court, because it's like as much as I love all the base, you know, the beginners, the foundation books, I wanted to write and create things that are going to stretch people's knowledge and their application of the tarot beyond just the 101 stuff. But in saying that, the Inner Wisdom Tarot that I just showed you the images from, that's going to be my, like, you know, go through everything in the card in regards to, like, you know, what's going on in the artwork, what it means in finances, what it means in relationships, what it means in health, what it means in spirituality. So I'm not bagging foundational stuff at all, because this new one is going to be very much like my quintessential tarot experience.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like you're bagging it. Actually, that's this part too. Astrology right now, people are so interested in, and they come in every day. Are so interested in astrology. I mean, you're combining, you're giving a class on what people are actually extremely interested in right now. I mean, I think that's brilliant, and that's what people are going to sign up for that, right? I am.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that date that y'all didn't
And
know,
so-
and that date Jamie just said is May 30th.
I know, she texted you too.
Yeah.
I was going to say, she texted me. She said it's May 30th, the registration.
She's so
And Jamie,
on
send me
top
the
of
link and I'll post it in there.
Yeah. So, wow.
Oh,
She's
sweet.
somebody was saying to us, we were talking about how we played games in Portland last or 2 years ago or whatever, and a friend that's here who can't wait to meet you, our friend Nikki and Mary, they have all your stuff, and they're definitely fans, and they're coming to Tide, and they don't want to volunteer at Tide because they want to go to every single thing, and they were saying, Michelle, you play games because you're so competitive. And I was like, oh no, Jamie was much more competitive. It was all of us. It was no problem.
Freaking throws the darts like a baseball.
I said, no, I didn't even see. It was all good because we were all competitive. It was fun.
Yeah.
They're like, you need to watch that.
You do realize that you two now have to up the ante when we're in Dallas after Tide, when we can all take a breath. You got to take us somewhere that's got, like, I don't care if it's like bowling or whatever.
We're gonna go hatchet throwing.
Round two, gotta
Hatchet
get
throwing?
going.
How about hatchet throwing?
Hatchet throwing.
I've never done that.
I haven't either.
Yeah.
I bet you
There's-
Jamie and Roger will kill it. I'll be like, I can't pick up the hatchet. Oh my gosh. So Tide, let's talk a little bit about that.
Yes.
Yes.
So go for it.
It's a washing detergent.
No,
that-
it is.
Don't eat it.
Don't eat the Tide Pods, guys. Do not eat Tide Pods.
God. Okay, so
All right, no, Tide is actually the International Divination event. It's happening May the 20th, 21st, 22nd. So it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And Ethony is speaking on the 20th. She's one of our keynote speakers.
she is, and everybody's extremely excited. I'm not kidding. They're like, you're gonna have we'll have little guards for you. Because, people are pretty excited to meet you. So thank you so much for coming. We have Ethony. Andrea Furtick is also the Afro goddess. Have you met her yet, Ethony?
I have not.
You are.
I don't think. No, I know her from Instagram.
Yeah.
But we haven't met. Yeah.
I never want to say people, oh, you're going to love each other. You don't know, but y'all remind me of each other with your creative ability and the fact that you publish your own things. And it seems like you guys are going into publishing more, right? A little bit?
It's more that, like, we still have the same, it's still teaching, and publishing. I guess like it was funny because Jamie and I were having this conversation. First of all, sorry, I'm such a Gemini. You can blame the fact that my big three are all mutable signs on the fact that I am like a Tasmanian devil. But I am so looking forward to being in person with people again. I cannot even tell you, my extrovert self has just been like, oh my gosh, like it's so hard just doing, I get it, we all did it for the safety of everybody and being responsible and all that, but it's just like, man, like it's been so long, so I'm really, really excited.
It was one thing that was really interesting is because Rose Red, Robin South, I think you saw the pictures. Jamie Efford and Andrew came. We flew them down just because they have experience of checking people in. They have, Rose has run so many, I guess, conventions.
Conventions.
And so it was really good, but I'm not a big hugger, but what literally by the end of it, it was just like we just were hugging each other. It was like so good to see people we have been seeing people at the store, but to see people from the community that we talk to on Facebook all the time, it was just funny because I don't know if she's a big hugger or not, but like hugging, bye.
Well, they had to hug me before they left. I was trying to put them in the van to go back to the airport, and they're like, "Oh, come hug, come hug."
Yeah, we've had it's a lot of work, and we knew that when we took it on, that and Newts, but we have such wonderful people like you guys behind us and supporting us that we really appreciate it. I mean, people that have just so many people have been so willing to just step up, and we appreciate it so much. So it's Andrea, Ethony, Matt Arwen, and Sasha Graham were our keynote speakers, and we did more to keynote because just to add a variety, and different kinds of people from different walks of life. That's kind of what we wanted to do and bring to.
Plus, Tide is actually a divination event, not just straight tarot. So we got a lot of people talking about everything from tarot and oracle cards, pendulum magic, candle magic, just straight
color
up.
magic.
Color magic.
One of the people,
spell work.
Yeah, so it's going to be really interesting. Yeah. So it's going to be fun, and we were. They stayed at the hotel where it's going to be held, Ethony, and so we got all the information on how things went. It was really, really good. So it's going to be exciting. I can't wait to see you guys. Are you bringing?
No, I'm very excited.
Are you bringing your son?
No, goodness no. Not because he is amazing. We went to Australia at Christmas, and honestly, this kid is just the best child ever when it comes to traveling. And I know not many people would be able to say that flying a child on huge long-haul international plane rides, but he's incredible. But it's just a bit boring for him because mum will be working.
Right.
He wants to, if I said to him, kiddo, we're going to go to Disneyland,
we're going to do that.
But not when mum's going to be working all day, he'd be so bored.
No, we might drop by some stores when we're near there, but we won't work. We'll go to Disneyland. I will totally go. We've said that. We're going to go to Disneyland.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know.
I'm not kidding.
I'm very excited about
I think
one of these days.
Yeah, I actually like Disney World better, to be honest, than I do Disneyland.
I've only been to Disneyland.
Then we'll go to Disney
One time.
World. Yeah.
One time.
I've never been to Disney World. I've only been to Disneyland, so it's on the bucket list.
Yeah.
Michelle took me to Disneyland when we were in California.
I did.
Yeah.
We had fun. I won't ride any scary rides, so I'm sure he'll love y'all going because I'm sure y'all will hop on all the scary
There
rides.
are no scary rides at Disneyland. I'm sorry. That is not scary.
That tower drop thing.
They are tame. I love that one.
That elevator thing. I was like, I can do
I love that one.
Yeah, y'all will ride that with Roger.
You went on there with me.
She
closed her eyes the whole time. She's
I
like,
just
please
want to
just keep me,
vomit.
please take me off, please. Yeah.
Please. I'm like praying. Oh, Lord, help me. Okay, so do our little break and show Ethony what I got on Amazon.
God. So,
okay, this is our new feature spot, our little segment called
Feature Segment.
What the hell did Michelle buy on Amazon?
Because she's at like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning. It's like, on Amazon, what are you doing? I'm just looking at Amazon. And then the shit shows up at the house, right? So she got these. And actually, I kind of get it. They're kind of cool. They're little, like, scrubby washcloths, exfoliator washcloths. But she didn't order one. She ordered like 50 of these things.
What?
I mean, they're not disposable.
I think it meant to be 5. I meant it to be 5.
They're not disposable at all. They're fabric, just like a regular.
And you put your hand in them.
Yeah, there's 4 in a pack, and she ordered like 50 packs. You put your hand in and scrub. It's like, it's reusable. It's just cloth. Just rinse it off and use it a couple of times. I mean, you don't exfoliate
Are you
every...
really going to wash those off, though?
We are not going to exfoliate every day.
I do.
You shouldn't exfoliate every day, Michelle.
What the
good Lord.
fuck?
I really
Seriously.
don't exfoliate every day because I actually don't take a shower every day because I hate our shower. There you go, y'all. The truth right from my mouth.
There's 4 in a pack. You got 50. That's 200.
So
I mean,
what
if
you
you
need to
used
do
it once
is you
a
need to
month.
put some of those packs then into some people's goodie bags
I
that
know.
tied
Guess what
so
you're
that
gonna?
they can take them
Guess
home.
what you're gonna get?
40 exfoliate.
40 of them.
No, it's there. We'll save the other thing. Where
What color do you want? Green or
50.
yellow or red?
We'll save the 51 for next time. I think I actually put a 0 when I didn't mean to. We always have to check the orders for the store. Now I'll be like 9, and he goes, "No, Michelle, we have 3 stores. You need to order like 30." And I'm like, so I go the other way with the stores. I'm like, less than I think we need. And I'm like, are we really selling that much or that fast? And he's like, yes. Yeah. Otherwise, we'd be ordering every week. So if we were selling the exfoliating things, they would be gone.
We're not selling it.
Well, then you should just sell them. Just put them in the store.
He would. Don't
Reusable
say that.
exfoliating pads. Done.
Yeah. So that is our segment on what the hell did Michelle buy?
And know that today when I got home, there were 4 big boxes from Amazon.
I guarantee you some of them are for him.
No, they're
for
not
you.
because mine's coming tomorrow.
See, you like to shop more than me. I'll be honest with you guys. I only bought ebooks from Amazon until COVID. I don't think had I really ever ordered anything from Amazon but books? Can you say?
No,
I don't
no.
think
We
I
only
even knew
ordered it-
how.
She actually only got books, cards, and ebooks. That's
And
it.
and now I just get ebooks because we get books, through the store. But now, very rarely that I order a hardback because he'll get upset. I mean, he's like, why? Because we can get it wholesale. But
She ordered 8 decks last week. I'm like, you do know we have decks at the store.
well, not all the independent ones though. But I really have a hard time with now. I don't know how people control themselves with the Amazon thing.
Oh, I don't ask me, mate. I have no idea.
Yeah, so it's a problem for me now, and it's
So
like a kid that just discovered something that everybody's known about for years. I'm way behind. Oh my gosh.
A little bit, but I stay off of it too because the targeted ads on Instagram really, I'm like, oh, I really might need this phone case or whatever else.
It works.
I'm getting hit by fire pits now, and it's really I'm looking, so it's bad. It's
Oh,
a bad scene.
They're tempting you.
Yeah.
It's very tempting. Yeah. So, yeah, that's what's going on in my world is I'm trying to break my addiction to Amazon.
I
So
did.
can I take a sharp left turn?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, okay, cool. So something that I've been doing recently is watching a lot of horror movies and a lot of horror shows, and I normally don't do that because I'm a massive chicken, but because, right, I grew up sensing energy, feeling it. I had recurring nightmares where I could still see this plain as day, where I would, like kids draw a house and it's like a line and a box and then a triangle and then a rectangle for the door and then 2 squares for the windows, and that very basic primary school kind of drawing that kids draw of a house. And then I draw that like in the screen of my mind, and then it would like zoom in, and then these clock cogs behind the house, and then I'd feel this presence, this really awful male presence, and I had like reoccurring nightmares and this experience, and just being able to sense things and being very sensitive. So that, because I have had a plethora of those experiences growing up, and even as going all the way through from being a teenager to an adult,
Right.
I never really watched anything, especially like slasher movies, okay, whatever, but like more like ghost stuff, like I couldn't handle, because it's like, been there, done that, had the real experience, got the t-shirt, the mug, and the trauma to go with it, thanks. but now I've been watching a lot more. And I was like watching this thing, and you know what? I was like, why? I think I have a really good theory, but I want to hear from you two. Two things. The first question is like, what's your perspective on why so many hauntings are in attics and basements? So that's my first one. And like I said, I've got an idea, but I wanted to ask you of what my idea. And two, do you believe, for example, if you are so devoutly, say, Catholic, that you're a part of this huge religion that goes back thousands of years, that have millions of followers and millions and hundreds of millions who have passed away, that believe in things such as demons and exorcisms and things like that, could that then manifest as something that actually happens? So I know they're two different questions, but I would like to know from you two what you think about those two things.
I'll go first, since my next book that you wrote the foreword to goes a lot into this. So it's called Spirits Unveiled, and Ethony wrote my foreword. Thank you. And I address the first question. It's not the attics and basements. I go more to that because I'm the exact same as you. I couldn't watch scary stuff when I was young. I experienced it in my life, so no thank you. Now I laugh. He has to take me out of, when we're going to movie theaters, he would literally have to take me out because I'd start laughing. Yeah. Because I'd be like, that is not how it really goes, right? Yeah, people get mad at us because I used to be so scared. I mean, like I happened to see the commercial for The Exorcist or whatever, and I was like freaked out because I was like, yeah, I lived this. So the first part, I wrote in the book, I just brought it up, that I think it's always interesting that people think that ghosts are always only at cemeteries or old folks' homes, nursing home is what we used to call it. I don't know what the proper name is now, and assisted living maybe, and in hospitals, because they're everywhere. But I think that, for me, they're everywhere. It's just so maybe that's where we think we're going to see them. And so people see them more in those places. I'm not sure. I'll think about it. But I had raised kind of the same question because I mean, we were just like in Vegas, and I was just like, it's so claustrophobic. I can't stand it. And it wasn't just because of the people. It's all the things that were walking around that, you and I see. And other people sense. And I may just sense them or see them. The other question, well, you want to answer your...
Well, I just think because you get those pockets like that, it's kind of dark, but it's also just stagnant energy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's true too.
So you don't get the positive energy flow going into those spaces because who wants to go to the attic and who wants to go to the basement? The people just don't want to be there, so they don't get there to create steer the energy, moving the energy around, things like that. So, I mean, when people do clearing in a house, how often do they go into the attic to clear the attic also?
Do you?
I do.
Yeah.
Well, I try to if it's easily accessible, especially here because we have a lot of walk-in attics. Yeah. But we don't have any basements.
In the book, I say engage before you sage, because I think that when things come to you, even if they're scary, you should ask, what do you want? Why are you here? Why do I see you? And that's kind of something I put in the book. Not that you always want to do that. As far as the second part, and then we want to know what you think. The second part is, I think for sure, there's like a collective, almost thought form idea, right? Behind all those millions of people that have passed and they believe in it. It's interesting. Catholics will talk about it more than like me being raised Protestant. It's like, and this is in the first part of my book, it's like they're singing about angels, but when you say I see an angel, they're like, okay, be quiet, you go to your room or whatever. And it was interesting because I think Catholics are much more open to those things than even the Protestant world that talks about them. It's in the scriptures that we would read growing up in church. But the minute I would say, oh, well, there is one, or what about this, demon-looking thing? And I don't know if it's a demon or not. I don't mean a demon in the hell way, but that's why I was raised. So yeah, I think that it's almost like a thought form idea and collective. Mm-hmm. Yeah. What about you?
Yeah, I agree with that.
What do you think, Ethony?
Well, I think with the basements and the the basements and the attics is, I agree very much with what Roger is saying. Like, if you have your bedroom, right? It's like this, even just saying I am, or this is my bedroom, you're kind of putting that energetic ownership on it. You have a lot of things that usually have love or your energetic input in it. It's got your, you've spent a lot of time around in your clothes, you spend a lot of time in your bed, all that kind of stuff. Whereas like there's no hallways are the same,
Right.
especially in places like hotels, or hotels are just a fucking nightmare. Like I never sleep well in a hotel because they are haunted AF.
They are.
But like hallways and things like that. And definitely I agree, like hospitals and aged care facilities and all things like that are much worse than, say, even a graveyard, because the graveyard is often where a lot of bodies are, not a lot of ghosts.
Right.
So I think it has got to do with that, the fact that, there's no energy going through it. If there is a stagnant sort of spot there, it can just like accumulate more and more of that stagnation, right? Like energy brings what is there, can like kind of bring it more in. So definitely that, and I think there is that fear factor too, but that fear factor I think has to come from somewhere, and that's why I think there's that that understanding of like when you watch a lot of horror movies or whatever, it's like the basement and the attic are always like places of like maximum creeping, right? Because we all know subconsciously maybe in this hive mind that they're places that rarely are kept to the same energetic level of cleanliness that maybe the rest of the place is.
And just to jump in, when I was in the hospital a couple weeks ago, Roger and I, and I was there for 5 days, Roger and I both independently, he told me, and I was like, I said the same thing. The energy of that hospital, it was just energetically unclean. There were so many beings. He saw things in the parking lot, and he doesn't say that much. I mean, he usually keeps his own counsel. He doesn't run around saying, I saw this, and he was like, whereas not all hospitals are that way. This one just happened to be, you were like, is it really old, or is it, but it just energetically felt icky.
Yeah. Yep.
Whereas some hospitals, they clear that energy and it feels better, I think.
Yeah.
I don't think it's always just because people have passed there. I think it's also what is done with that energy.
Yeah, that's true. There is just also a lot of like, I mean, I know that people in my life know that if I ever have to stay overnight in the hospital, you better be bringing me X, Y, Z, like do not leave me in that room without my, protective pouch of whatever, because often when you're sick, you don't necessarily have that energetic capacity to hold as much as you normally can.
It's true.
And that's not for everyone, but like I just know that like for me, I also feel just the different layers of there is beauty in hospitals. My son was born in a hospital, but there is a lot of trauma on many different levels. Body trauma, emotional trauma, psychological trauma. And yeah, you're right. Like maybe not all hospitals have that, maybe the level of activity, but a lot of them do have a lot of activity. Because it's also a transient area. Most people don't live in a hospital.
Right.
And so yeah, they're interesting spaces. And I'm much like you when it comes to, as for like the second question, I'm very much like you when it comes to like possession movies, like the very Exorcist kind of ones where it's like the religious iconography comes into play. I kind of just laugh as well because I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. Like that's not how it happens. But I do believe that if you can be absolutely creating this, or this thing could have this energy, this malevolence or whatever could have been around for a long time, but then here comes these people who call it something. Oh, excellent! You've given me an ID card. That I can use. But I've also traveled to places like in Bolivia and in Indonesia where people pay people, the local witches to curse people, and the local, whoever to. So, there's culturally as well what's going on. So I definitely do think that if that's a deep belief that your family has had for many generations, or you believe that that's what's going to, even your family, and you're a very young child and you don't understand what's happening, that can be put on you or put in your energy.
For sure. Yeah, it was
culture
with
around
me. I mean, you know, so much of it, and things appeared to me the way, you know, the way you're told, and it may be a different energy completely, but it maybe will appear to somebody in one way and appear to Roger a different way, because just like I think spirit guides do, you know, he just sees energy. Like we had a long time ago, we had like 3 past life regressions, and she wanted the good stuff, you know, like I'm choking because I was hung as a witch, you know, and people were getting all this past life stuff. And every time she got to Roger, he said, I see a ball of energy. And then the first time she was okay, and then on the second one, he was like, I see a ball. Do you remember this? Mm-hmm. The second time around, she went through it, and everybody was kind of getting into it. And they were getting their past life stories down really good, right? And really getting into, let me see what I can dig. And I get potato farmer every time for me, so that's what I was apparently in every past life, was a potato farmer, during the blight, no less. But Roger said, the second time, I see a ball of energy. And this time she got a little irritated. She was like a little irritated with Roger, like you're not playing along. But he was totally serious, because that's how he sees. He didn't have to have a form around what he sees, but some of us, you know, have to have a form around it. We want something that looks like us, or at least we can kind of relate to, right? So I think that's what happens too with all this stuff. When you bring in the thoughts of, okay, were you raised Catholic? I agree with you totally. It's kind of that. It forms out of, we give it a name. I love that, an ID card, and then all of a sudden, but it may look different to different people. Because, I mean, we were supposed to see Jesus in a screen one time. We went to I can't remember how far my parents drove me, and there was supposedly in the screen of a door, there was the image of Jesus. And we really did. And so we would go see that. And I was always kind of all really scared by all of it, because I saw other stuff, and I was like, that I don't understand, you know?
White European
Jesus just ran straight through that screen door so quick.
Yeah, I mean, it was just this image.
And of course it was white European Jesus.
No, well, you couldn't tell on the screen. It just looked like a screen. But, and then I think,
like,
you know, in
where
the
the hell is
clouds,
Jesus?
I remember always looking up in the clouds, not in a good way, like in a scared way. Looking up for what's, you know, I think that's why last night kind of freaked me. And storms don't freak me out. I love them. But last night, that was weird.
I'm going to put big skylights in the bedroom, so I can lay there and watch the storms.
Okay.
How about that?
I usually really love storms too, but it's like I feel sometimes like an energy on the wind, and it will really depend on the feeling on the wind. I always sort of call it.
I like
So
that.
if the feeling on the wind is really is okay. Like I love thunderstorms. Growing up in Australia, we had a lot of thunderstorms, especially like in summer, and I miss them a lot actually. I love thunderstorms, but sometimes there's like, you know, storms here, lots of rain and this wind, and it's just like, oh, there's something on the wind. Like it just doesn't feel right tonight. And
that makes sense. Yeah.
That's where I tend to look.
That's how it was last night. There was something on the wind.
Definitely so.
Right? Yeah.
It was real weird too, because it just like popped up and the alarms or the sirens were going off, and it was like, holy shit.
Yeah. Yeah, and we never made it into the safe room.
No.
We just have to admit. I mean,
Michelle
I
was
was just
passed out on the couch.
I was like, "There's no way I'm going. We're all going."
I
in.
should have recorded
We'll save.
that.
Pick the one we're going to save. Which dog are we saving? Because I wasn't going to shove all the dogs in there. But it really was that moment when you realize, damn, this safe room is not good.
You'd have been fine.
So yeah, I would have.
Everyone into the haunted basement. We
Yeah,
go.
everybody
Into the
into the basement. Good job. Actually, I used to have to go in Tulsa, Oklahoma. We went down into a shelter. You know, parents would look. But it was energetically really. It's interesting you brought that up, because they cleaned it and they went down in there because, you know, there they get a lot of tornadoes. Used to there's definitely climate change, because we used to not get all these tornadoes, right, Matt? Not here in Dallas. Please validate that.
Well,
Not
I mean,
in
yeah.
Longview we didn't.
Well, I'll say it is. I did used to, when working in news, I would notice that there would be a lot of tornadoes on the outskirts or in the countries, and rarely did they make it through the middle of the city. Every now and then they would, but it does feel like they are hitting more often in the
Right.
in the more populated areas. And
Yeah.
I mean, I say that, but I do remember, what was it, 99, whenever one hit the middle of downtown Fort Worth. I mean, so it has happened.
Yeah.
That's not to say it hasn't happened, but it was very rare when I was working in news that
It
that
seems more
happened.
to me. It just seems, yeah.
I mean, it could be confirmation bias, but it does feel that
Yeah.
way a little bit.
That will take the confirmation
Sure.
bias. All right, so you guys, we got about 7 minutes left. Do you want to talk? I'd like to know, Ethony, do you know what you're speaking on at Tide yet?
We were just talking about this, Roger and I, before the show started, and there's been a couple of ideas that have been brewing around. One of the thoughts that Jamie and I had this week was really diving into love readings, and because well, first of all, the modern love tarot, but secondly, a lot of people have this feeling around the questions like, oh, is he coming back, or like about the ex, and just questions around love, and they're like my favorite, like talking about those sorts of things. So that's an idea. I mean, like, I'm really sort
And I
of
was going to just say, can I just say on that?
three mutable signs.
Can I just say on that one? Yeah, I have a lot of mutable signs too. It's I call it ADHD, really bad, adult ADHD. I mean, my doctor told me I was the worst, and I don't think anybody would dispute it.
Nope.
But, no, but it's true. And we know it's true because the medicine makes me go to sleep, like in about 20 minutes. So I can't even take it. Like, the other stuff that people are like stimulants or whatever, I'm like, they're putting me to sleep. So, but I really like that first idea because you are one of the few people I think that stands up and tells people, don't be making fun of people that ask these questions. And a lot of readers in those horrible groups, some of them, I've just gotten out of them because they're just so mean to each other, but they will talk about, they'll really talk about people they've read for, and they'll make fun of their clients. And I don't think people should do that. I have a problem with that. And I think you're really good about addressing that and explaining that and teaching that to professional readers because they can get jaded and then not be caring and compassionate about those questions.
Yeah.
So I think, number one, that one would be really good. But what's the second?
I mean, no, I was just saying that I would have been open to anything else because I do have all those, like, and I'm the same way. I do have that, that adult ADD. Maybe that's why we clicked so quickly.
Maybe. I just want to talk like you and be you, but that's not going to happen.
But so yeah, I think I'm going to be doing that, and then I've been doing tarot readings on terrible Tinder profiles. Like, people have been sending me profiles of just terrible Tinder photos they found scrolling through the app. So I'm probably going to be doing some of those in it, and just talking about the because me, I will talk about a serious subject, but it's also going to be a little bit lighthearted. Otherwise, what are we doing here?
Yeah, I saw.
So yeah, I think that's what I'm going to be really diving into, and
I like that.
I'm so excited. Yeah,
we're so excited too. What, Roger?
I saw Jamie post that too about the profiles, terrible Tinder profiles.
Tinder, yeah.
Yeah. I thought she was maybe looking for something new and kind of venturing out there for something terrible for a change.
Wow.
No, it was for me, so I could be doing the readings, the terrible tarot Tinder readings with my modern love.
I was like,
so if you don't follow me on TikTok, go check them out. Or on Instagram, they're also on Reels.
Yeah, you're creative on there.
Where's the food ones again? Y'all didn't do the food cooking ones.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so the last time we tried doing that, it was like a fucking hot mess. So
imagine that.
I'll have to try doing that one again at some point. But yeah, there was a bit of a hit and a miss. Sometimes it depends on the time of day that we film. But all I know too is that my goal when I come to Dallas, besides having an amazing time at Tide and seeing everybody and speaking and all that kind of fun stuff, is I really want a pair of cowboy boots and a cowboy hat, or cowgirl, cow they, cow them, cow we, because I haven't had a pair in so long. I had a pair that were my favorite. I wore them out. So
we know right
you know,
where
as
to
long as I
take
come-
you. It's
Yep.
not far.
Yep.
Yeah. The Boot Barn.
Yeah.
Yeah, right? Yeah, Matt's shaking his head. Yeah. Right,
That's
Matt?
where I got. Yeah, that's where I got mine from.
Yeah, that's Roger.
Boot
Did
Barn.
you get your most recent pair from Boot Barn?
Cavendish.
Okay. Oh, you
I think it went to Cavendish.
cheated on
Wait.
Boot Barn.
Yeah, I went to Cavendish.
Yeah,
But
so-
Boot Barn, I got my other pair from Boot Barn.
Well, Boot Barn carries
Only
them.
because I was driving by and it's like, oh, Cavendish, and I stopped and got them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You run through those boots a lot, though.
No.
About every year.
No.
Oh, well, time's
no.
flying. It seems like it. But, yeah.
That's
Roger
what
wears
Lizzie
his
was
boots
trying to
every
tell
day.
me. Lizzie was trying to tell me the same thing.
That you buy them once a year.
Yeah.
Hey, and just so everyone knows, he shops as much, if not more than me. He's just a much better shopper. I will admit that. You are more mindful in what you're purchasing, right? Even for the store. Yeah.
I
So
try.
let's give everybody all your information so they can find you and sign up for this wonderful class that's starting. So tell them where to find you in all the places.
So ethony.com is my main website, at Ethony on Instagram, and there you will find the reels. I have a YouTube channel. tarotreadersacademy.com is where all of my courses are. And again, if you would like my version of the Fool's Journey, it's a printable. It goes like, oh wait, like that.
Right.
Then it has images from my upcoming Inner Wisdom Tarot. Make sure you hit me up with an email. If you go get the Moon Guide for this year and you don't get the Fool's Journey, let me know and I'll send it your way as well, because you know how much I love giving out free resources.
Well, you are good about that. You're really good about that, and maybe too good about that, but that's a different conversation. But you, you are very generous. And people, I think, to get that with the Fool's Journey from your Inner Wisdom deck, you probably should sign up for her email, right? Is that?
Yes.
Yeah, so sign up for, and you can do that by going on our website.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and that's probably how you will get that, not just inboxing her or something. Don't do that. That wouldn't be cool. Right? Sign up for the email.
You know.
Sign up for her email's good. She's generous. She give a lot of information. So you want to sign up for that, right?
Exactly.
Well, we're looking forward to seeing you. We've got a lot of planning to do and getting through all that, but we really want to get it all planned so that we can really enjoy our time with you guys. And we really are. That's one of the main things that both of us are really looking forward to, is seeing you and Jamie. We really are so appreciative that you're coming. And we're just, we know that it's going to be, that everybody's going to be able to come. I'm not even worried about that, to be honest with you. I really feel like everything's headed in the right direction. So we're good, right, Roger?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome.
All right.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You got to come and see us all at Dallas. You got to come and say hi. And Jamie, again, because she's obviously listening to this, just sent me through the website for the Fool's Journey.
Okay.
So it's ethony.com/fools-journey / So I've just popped it in so you guys can
Thank you.
let people know where it is as well.
Thank you.
So
Yeah. So, and
he's obviously listening to me and being like, do the things correctly.
I just always say now, I've gotten to this point where I go to all the places and do all the things. Yeah,
Exactly.
so
Yeah.
Matt's pulling that up now. So thank you, Matt. But yeah, I'm just like, all the things, all the places. It's like, just, you'll find it. Just search and you'll find it. Thank you so much. And Matt, thank you for being here as usual and producing for us. We really appreciate you.
Of course.
Ethony, tell Jamie hello, and we love you guys, and we can't wait to see you. We'll talk soon. And to everybody listening and watching, we really appreciate you guys. Join us Friday for Ethony again, talking about the 9 of Cups on Tarot Takeaways. That's at 1 p.m. on our Soultopia Instagram. And other than that, we will see you next Tuesday right here on Facebook at 7:30 p.m. Central Time.
Yep.
Right? Good night, everybody.
Good night, guys.
Thanks for listening to SoulWhat, a Soultopia production. If you're intrigued, searching, or looking to schedule a reading of your very own, visit us in sunny Dallas, Texas, or visit us online at facebook.com/Soultopia Holistic Boutique. And if you like what you heard, subscribe, rate, and review on your favorite podcasting platform to be the first to hear new episodes every Tuesday at 7:30 Central.